Hey, good morning, everyone. Am I coming clearly to all of you? All right. So I'm going to try to match the energy what Brian has already created here because he definitely filled this room with a lot of energy around dominance. So let's see if I'm up to the job. Before starting the conversation, and while my presentation is still loading up, uh, can somebody help? Okay, while my presentation is still loading up, uh, sure, please take your time. For everyone who does not know me, I'm one of you. When I say I'm one of you, I have tried so many things in my life and I have more scar tissues of failure on my track record than success. Now, speaking about failure, there are tons of things from forming a startup to the projects, failing in the leadership, not taking the right decision often of the times, to the success. Currently, in my current role, I'm a head of strategy and solution engineering for a US-based company. We have a headquarter in Vienna, Virginia, and then we have offices in. Oh, it's not coming properly. Okay, sorry. Thank you so much. So I'm head of AI strategy and solution engineering for a company headquartered in Vienna, Virginia, and then we have offices in Canada, Singapore, Dubai, and obviously India. We have a massive innovation hub in India. Besides my current role, I'm also executive startup to a vibe coding startup, executive advisor to a vibe coding startup, which has around $100 million in valuation. And I'm also a founder of a stealth AI startup at this point of time. So, as I mentioned from my past, I'm already doing a lot of stuff in AI, and I hope I'm going to share some of my learning with you guys and see uh, if you guys can also understand what we are trying to do. Okay? Are we ready? All right, looks like they are still working on that. But the core topic, what I'm planning to highlight today, is about AI. Is it a bubble or is it a tool or dawn for the transformation? So while these people are still working on bringing my presentation on, what do you guys think? Is it a bubble or it's there? Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. So this is the biggest question everybody is asking. AI is all over the place. You name an industry and AI is impacting each and every aspect of that industry. Whether you're talking about pharmaceutical, you're talking about manufacturing, software development, education, airlines, aviation, all over the place. Okay, and this question continuously popping up whether AI is a bubble or it's the dawn of true transformation. A lot of people is actually comparing it with the dot-com bubble happened in the early 2000s. Okay, but if I'm looking from a founder's perspective, it's a playbook for 4.8 trillion opportunity. How I came to that number that I'm going to talk about in the next slide. All right. So we all heard about AI. A lot of people is kind of familiar with ChatGPT, Gemini, and all these sort of tools, right? But let's walk back and let's look into the gold rush, what AI is creating. The global AI market is supposed to be $4.8 trillion by 2033. Right now, it is at $189 billion. So, massive investment, probably the biggest in the human history, is going in this particular segment. Amazon alone is planning to spend over $125 billion. The venture capitalists, they are talking about around $100 billion what they have invested in AI just in the first half of 2025, which is more than what they have actually invested in AI in the entire of 2024. And it's not just about people are running behind AI without any measured ROI. As per a calculation by IDC, every dollar spent in AI has a potential of bringing back $4.9 as a return on that investment. So the numbers are astonishing. 78% of the enterprises are using AI at least in one function of their day-to-day business. So the gold rush is there. Everybody is chasing the gold rush. But then the question comes, is it actually going to generate any value or is it going to fall apart? Okay. And I'm going to start this with a story. 6 months back, I was sitting with a CTO of a Fortune 50 company. And he's a good friend of mine. And the thing what he told me surprised me. He said, Prafull, we are running 47 pilots at this point of time, but I'm not able to see a single dollar coming in the new revenue because of the AI. And do you know what surprised me? 47 pilots? Do you literally need to spend $50 million just to see whether you're going to succeed or fail? That's where the problem is. That a lot of people, they are just stuck in that pilot. They are using RAG, they're using chatbots. They're trying to kind of get some answers from ChatGPT and Gemini, but they are not truly thinking about how they are going to take it to production and how they are actually going to solve a business problem. Okay? So while this massive investment is going into AI, there is an uncomfortable truth. Some time back, there is a report which has been published by MIT, which is talking about 95% of all generative AI pilots are never making into production, failing. Only 5% are succeeding. And this is not just one number. If you start looking into the stats, it is more and more clear. 42% of the large companies are abandoning their AI initiatives in 2025. When I'm saying they are abandoning, they are not shutting down all the work what they are doing in AI, but 42% of the work what they are doing, they are closing it out because they are not able to see any path to the revenue or the cost saving. 80% of the AI project is failing in the large enterprises. And this is my favorite. 78% of enterprises are using AI, but 80% of those are seeing zero revenue at this point of time. So the problem is not the technology. The problem is how they are using the technology. There is around $600 billion spent annually on the enterprise technology, and the productivity results are mixed. I mean, some people are seeing some success, some people are seeing a lot of failures, and there are only very few who are truly seeing an ROI by investing into the AI. So now let's look into the problem that why these AI projects are actually failing. The first and foremost, when I talk to people that what exactly are you doing in AI, then everybody is talking about what model they are using, what algorithm they are using, which platform, which vendor, which hyperscaler they are actually using. Nobody is talking about is their data ready for the AI? And that's the biggest problem. Because 70% of the enterprises, after using AI for 6 months to 1 year, then they are realizing that they have a lot of inconsistencies in their data. And if you're using wrong data or inaccurate data for your AI model, then that's just garbage in, garbage out at scale, which nobody can match. So that's the first problem. The second problem is AI probably is introducing the largest reskilling program in the tech industry at this point of time. But the technical maturity of the resources and the people are not there. In this room itself, I have said a lot of people asking the question, is AI is going to take our job? And the short answer is no. The people who are using AI in the right way are going to take your job. There's a gentleman who just answered a question, right? That if you know the people who know how to give the correct prompt and how to do the prompt engineering, they can actually replicate the human level intelligence. And the gentleman here, he talked about that we need to pair it up the human intelligence with the artificial intelligence to maximize the results. So the verdict is clear that AI is a force multiplier, but if you look at it as a replacement to the human, it's not there yet. So the technical maturity, it is another important part. Then comes the concern about privacy and the data security. especially in the finance domain. We have a lot of customers in the fintech domain, in the finance domain. We are working with the largest bank in the world. And the first time we take any AI use case in front of them, their question is that, hey, we are the bank, we have a lot of compliances and all that. What about the security? And even if we tell them that we have the models which are going to run behind your firewall, they don't know what that model is doing. And they are not taking the first step towards that. So they are still confined themselves in a very, very pigeonhole, right? Where they want to use the AI, but not properly because they are scared that their sensitive proprietary data is actually going to go out of their organization, and they are not ready for that. And the last one, and that's probably the biggest, the pilot paralysis. I mean, I cannot even name a single tech team or organization who is actually not running a pilot on generative AI or agentic AI. A lot of people has a clear business outcome outline that what they are really trying to achieve, but most of them are just doing that because they are experimenting. They want to showcase something on their resume. They want to put it on their LinkedIn that, hey, they are the generative AI expert, they are the agentic AI expert, without even realizing that what is that technology from the first principles perspective. Why I'm calling it the biggest problem? The pilot paralysis is not a problem. At this point of time, it is an epidemic. 75%, sorry, somebody has something? No. The 75% of the leaders today are admitting the fact that they are having more pilots than they can actually scale. So what I'm realizing whenever a tech SME or whenever an architect or whenever a gig is going to their executive, their CIOs, CTOs, CEOs, and talking about something they want to solve in AI, they are saying, okay, let's try it out. The moment they do the POC, the amount of investment actually required to take it to production, the company was never ready for it. They were only ready for some presentations, some demos, some videos, and that's it. They truly don't have the resources to take it all the way, the amount of pilots what they are running today. And 50% of these leaders are actually admitting the fact that once the pilot starts, they see the initial success. It's a jaw-dropping moment for them in the control environment, but then it stalls. Because then people are moving on to the next shiny object, the next pilot, rather than taking it to the production. And that's where causing the test and forget culture, which is actually bringing the siloed knowledge. Because the other team doing other pilot is not even aware of what the first team has done, why they have failed, or if they have not failed or succeeded, why did they stop? So that's why I'm not calling it a problem. I'm calling it a pilot paralysis epidemic. And another problem what I'm seeing with this large enterprises, that if you really want a transformative technology to succeed, whether it is autonomous driving, whether it is battery tech, the EVs, or anything in the world historically, right? You need to look for 2 to 5 years of the outcome. But these organizations who are investing massively into AI and the pilots, they are looking for the quarterly results. It's, it's not even possible that your model is going to get trained on your data and every quarter it is going to give you the dollar back in saving or new revenue. So the mindset is the biggest problem here. Now, in order to overcome that problem, I have created a framework. So like many others in this room, I have started my career from IT. And after working in IT for around 8 to 9 years, I have transitioned into product development and product strategy. So when I have been first hired, the company who hired me as a product owner was Verizon, which is one of the largest telecom company in the world. And the chief product officer actually took me out on the dinner on my first day. So there are a bunch of executives sitting and I'm a new kid in the block. We were drinking and we were talking about how the product mindset needs to evolve to truly transform something. And do you know the example what he gave me is the yellow taxi. We all are familiar with the yellow taxi, right? In the New York. The example he gave me, the yellow taxi and Uber. He said when Uber has been built, they were not thinking about that how yellow taxi operates and how to mimic that. What they are actually thinking about that where are the frictions in the yellow taxi framework, in the process, in the people who are operating yellow taxi, in the technology what the yellow taxi is having, and how can I solve those problems with the help of transforming people, process, and technology together to uplift the entire ecosystem or build the entire ecosystem. And that's how I created my own model. What I call it is people, process, and product framework. And if you look at most of the time, people and process contribute to 70% of the solution. Your technology is just 30%. And that's AI for you. If you really want the outcome from the AI, you need to have the people who know how to use the AI or willing to learn how to use the AI. You need to have the right set of process. You cannot just take AI and bolt it into a fragile system. You need to have a process properly defined, which considers that with the help of this technology, how things are going to be automated and transformed, and where are the risks where we need to put the human intelligence or human oversight or human in the loop to make sure that while we are going from point A to point B, we are not actually causing any security or compliance issue on the way. So that's what I call it as people, process, and product framework. So to all the founders in the room, the best AI startups are not going to be the technology companies. This is one statement I can tell you from my experience. The best AI startup is going to be a company who is solving a business problem like the way Uber did with the help of AI, with the help of technology. So let's take a step back and let's talk about the experience what we have. So I work for a company, as I mentioned, called Radiant Digital, and I'm head of their AI strategy and solution engineering. So Radiant Digital used to have a very good name in the digital experience world. We are serving 5 out of top Fortune 50 companies in the world, multiple government agencies, both at the federal level and the local government level. But when we started transforming it, the first problem what we have picked up is software development. Did anybody heard the fact that you can generate the code with the help of AI? All of you? Okay. Now we all know that LLMs can generate the code. ChatGPT can give you the code. Copilot can give you the code. But the biggest problem what started happening, right, is this the right code, which has been built for your organization? And the companies, they are spending 70% of their budget in maintaining and modernizing their legacy code base, data infrastructure, and just the infrastructure, the tools and technologies and everything. So when we dive into that problem, what we realize that problem is not generating the new code. Problem is that what is buried inside your legacy code, how you're going to extract that information, and then how you're going to use that information to generate the context which is going to provide you the modern technology infrastructure for modernization or maintenance. And that's where we use the same PPP framework to build people, process, and technology. On the people part, we got the workforce. I mean, bunch of seasoned people, bunch of new people. We trained them extensively in the AI technologies. In the AI technologies, in prompt engineering, solution engineering, building the knowledge graphs, using the SLMs, using the LLMs, and so on. Then we build the process, the human intelligence, that how we are going to combine that artificial intelligence with the human oversight, and we are going to make sure that we are not having a drift. And then we started looking into the problem what the technology can solve. And you know the result? With the help of this PPP framework, oh, something is not clear in here. Okay, I know, so I can talk about that slide. Sorry about that again. So with the help of this PPT framework, we are able to modernize the legacy application 40% faster and in 50% lower cost. We got almost 10 plus customers from the Fortune 50 companies who really want to work with us at this point of time. And you know, there are 10 plus use cases which has been brought to us by our customers. So we started with the code that we can take your COBOL, mainframe, C++ code, we can convert it to the modern codes, Java, microservice, Python, whatever you want. Then they started coming to me, hey, we have core by interfaces, can you please take it to Kafka? Hey, we are using this database, can you take it to this database? Hey, we are using this infrastructure, can you make it cloud native? So we got 10 plus use cases brought to us by our customers. So what is the verdict here? The bottom line is that we did not chase those customers. We just solved one problem and we solved it really good. And then these customers started coming to us with their problem and then started engaging us, working with us, pouring in millions of dollars in new revenue for us. All right. So what is the success formula here? The success formula is that when you are going to transform something with the help of AI, don't start with the technology. That's the biggest problem. A lot of people I talk to, they are using AI for the sake of using AI. If you really want to transform something or if you really want to build a company on the AI, focus on the problem. Start with the business plan and the technology should follow. The problem should be that how you can make more money or how you can save money for your customers. It should not be that how you can bolt in AI into the product what you're trying to sell. Invest in your data. For the founders, that's probably the biggest blessing at this point of time because you guys are not sitting on 20, 30, 40 years of data where the enterprises are sitting. You have a fresh start. So create your own data model and invest in that. People over pilot. That's probably one of the biggest. So you don't need to think about that how I can start a pilot, how I can build a chatbot. You need to think about where your organization is heading. Is your people aligned with your vision? Do they have the drive to truly transform the world for you or generate value for your customer? Start from there. And then governance as an accelerator. So don't go into that chaotic world where everybody is trying to do some pilot, trying to use some technology. Keep a governance model, keep a process defined, and chase it relentlessly. Every week, every day, you need to make sure that we are taking one tiny small step towards the goal. There will be setbacks, there will be failures. And that's what I mentioned in the beginning of this conversation, that I have failed more number of times than I succeeded. But that does not mean that you will drop your vision. You need to take the learning, you need to change yourself, you need to pivot. But at the end of the day, you need to keep your goal consistent, keep your path consistent towards your goal and keep on marching one step at a time. And you also need to think about the short-term goals, the short-term accomplishment, and that's where I mentioned the weekly goals, the monthly goals, the quarterly goals. But what should be there in your mind, that where do you want your company or your organization or your project 2 to 3 years down the line? And what are the small steps you need to take it? I used to play cricket. I mean, does anybody of you familiar with cricket as a sport? Great. So I used to play cricket and I used to represent my state. You know the biggest problem what we used to say? If you had target in front of you, which is very difficult, a lot of time the team chasing that score fail because of the pressure or the weight of the score, because they are looking into that 350 runs what they need to make in 40 overs. But then there is a chase master in India, Virat Kohli. He made a statement, he does not even look into that what is the end target. He divided into smaller goals, that first 10 overs I'm going to be here, after 10 I'm going to be here, after 10 I'm going to be here, and he keep on marching towards those smaller goals. Remember, Rome was not built in one day. The great things, the transformations, the big thing, it takes time. It takes time, it takes energy, and it takes a lot of you from all the founders to make it succeed. And we need to make sure that we are not burying ourselves under the weight of that long-term goal. We are dividing it into the short-term goals and objectives, but we are keeping the focus on the vision where you want to be. So this is really a nice conversation. Now here comes the answer. The first question how we started, is AI a bubble in making or dawn of true transformation? Is it going to be a bubble burst in terms of dollar amount, similar to something what happened in .com bubble? The answer is yes. AI projects and investments probably going to see more losses than the profit. That's the reality. The number of pilots running today, I can guarantee you 60 to 70% will never see a light in production, will never see something into your hand. But the remaining 30 to 40%, what is going to succeed in the world of AI is truly going to transform the way we live, the way we operate, and the way we perform our day-to-day tasks. Whether it is about software development, it is about data management, it is about how you write the email, it is about how you interact with the customer services rep, even further, with the help of computer vision technology and everything, it is going to take you forward that how the cars are going to be driven, how the robotics going to work, how the pharmaceutical industry, how the genetical industry, all these industries are going to get transformed. That is going to be just 30 to 40% of the projects which are going to succeed. It is truly going to transform the world around us. So the answer to the question, whether it is a bubble in making or dawn of true transformation, it is both. It is bubble in making for the people who are chasing the hype and not solving the real problem. It is bubble in making who is burning cash without proper economics. But it is going to be a true transformation who is focusing on specific painful problems, not just the technology, and who has the clear path to profitable scale. So at the end of the day, what is the difference between bubble and transformation? It's not AI. And that's where I gave the answer that AI is not going to take your job. The people who are using AI are going to take your job. So the answer to the question is the difference between bubble and transformation is the execution. If you are taking your people process along with the technology, creating that ecosystem, you are going to bring the transformation. You are going to change your customers' day-to-day life, their ecosystem, the way they operate. They are going to solve their problems. And in the process, you are going to make money. We all are going to make money. Our customers are going to make money. But if you're just chasing the hype and you're using the AI for the sake of using AI, then you're going to lose the money of your investors. Probably you are not going to succeed in that path. So the crux here is execution, how you are going to execute it, how you are going to operate it. That is the one which is going to define that what value AI is going to bring it to you. So thank you so much, guys. Now I'm up for the question.